If you've been running a service-based business or a coaching business for the past several years, you might be to the point where you're kind of tired of the business model and you're ready to make a change. I'm going to be breaking down my personal journey of how I was able to transition from this one-to-one client work into this online course business by sharing with you the business decisions that I made along the way in order to build more time in my schedule so that I could actually create an online course and all that jazz. I'm Amanda Horvath, and I help eliminate the obstacles to getting you sitting where I'm sitting right now, in front of the camera, sharing your message with the world. So if you're ready to use video in your strategy this year, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. And for the fastest way to get up and running in your video journey, be sure to check out the free resources that are linked in the description below. Let me lay the foundation very quickly for where I was before this transition. So I was running a video marketing business where I was shooting and editing videos for clients. I had a full client roster and I had subcontractors that I was managing to be able to help with the number of leads that were coming in. So I was doing everything from prospecting to having those sales calls, conversations, creating the contracts, and then I was actually shooting and editing in addition to managing the subcontractors as well. Bottom line, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money. The one thing that I strongly believed in was the power of video, and that's because I had seen it for all of my clients that I had worked with in the past, and I had watched them go from being a nobody to blowing up online, and I saw that this is something that I actually could do if I made the time to make it happen. In this video, I'm going to be focused on the business decisions behind the scenes that I made in order to create more time freedom to shoot and edit content for myself, as well as build an online course. But creating consistent video content was essential to get me to where I was today. So in addition to watching this video, I highly recommend watching my training on how to master video and make money online. That training is going to walk you through sustainable video production so that you can have an online presence, and you grow that online presence, it's gonna grow a demand for your services. So finish this video, but also be sure to check out the training linked in the description below. And now let's dive into the actual steps that I took to make this transition. Step 1, clear why. I cannot stress the importance enough of having a very strong why for why you want to make this transition. And that's because if your why isn't stronger than the obstacles you're going to face, which trust me, you're going to face them, then you are going to give up on this journey and you will continue having the business that you currently have because your pain points simply aren't strong enough. So my personal why was that I had just turned 27 the year before, the end of the year before in October, and I was no closer to the goal that I wanted to hit by 30 than I was when I first started my business. And I had been doing it at this point for, I think, 4 years at the time. When I looked at that, it felt very depressing. And I knew that if I wanted to make a change and hit my goal of having passive income by the time that I'm 30, so that I could be a stay-at-home mom or travel the world, whatever I wanted to do with my time, then I needed to make change now. I did not have any more time to waste. I knew that 3 years was a good amount of time to build this online presence and make this transition. So analyze your current lifestyle, look at where you want to go, and get super clear on why you want to make this transition. And to take things one step further, why not drop your why in the comments section below, and let's all inspire one another for what you would do if you had tons of free time. Step 2, simplify. Being a business owner, you have to wear so many hats in order to execute on your clients. And it can seem great to have tons of different clients because you're doing all of these different things and it can be really fun, but it also comes with a lot of headaches. So for every single client, you're having to prospect, do the sales calls, do the contracts, fulfill on that service, deal with invoicing. And the more clients you have, the more of those things you have to do and manage. My goal for you, or the recommendation that I have and what I ended up doing, was simplifying. was there a way that I could get one client instead of having 20 clients that I was dealing with, and me do all of the work and take all of the profit instead of me giving work to subcontractors? So that is what I ended up doing. At the time, I was definitely researching the world of YouTube, and I had been diving into that world for the past 2 years and really believed in the power of it. So I ended up going out and pitching one client on starting their YouTube channel and bringing me on relatively full-time, kind of more part-time, I would say, where I would actually come in for an entire day, work with them. We would shoot and edit videos, come up with a strategy, all of the things, and I would build out their system to where after I left, their in-house videographer would be able to take over and continue that system moving forward, because I knew this wasn't something I wanted to do long term. I just wanted to kind of get them up and running with the system so that they could make it happen in the long term. Now I realized I was able to get fortunate in finding that client and making it happen, but I do want to give you a little bit of background because it's kind of funny. What ended up happening was I actually got into the middle of basically two divorcing founders that were splitting ways. The person that ended up leaving the company was the one that signed my contract. And after 2 months of working with this client, the founder that stayed was like, oh, your contract was signed by this person over here, so we're not gonna pay you. And so in the excitement of being able to have only one client, I didn't stick to the strict payment strategies that I had previously done with clients and ended up getting screwed out of 2 months of work, essentially. So whatever you do, ensure you get paid. Step 3, think in groups. Once I split ways from that other client, I definitely needed to make money because of them not actually paying me. And I knew that it would be challenging to go out and find one other big client, and that might take several months. So what I decided to do was take what I was previously doing with one client and break it into a group experience that people could split. So I ended up pitching 4 individual business owners. I pulled from both past clients that I had, as well as just my network of people, to pitch them on starting their own YouTube channel. And once again, I would be shooting and editing their videos for them, or at least getting their system established so that they could do this on the ongoing basis once we split ways. Because once again, this was not my goal to build retainer clients that I was working with consistently. I wanted to get you up and running and then have you be able to execute moving forward with the team in place to make it happen. So if you can't land one big client like I previously mentioned, then be sure to think about how to do it in a group setting to where people could pay less, which makes it easier to sell them, but you are still making a high price point and having one major area of focus. Quick little background here, because once again, I told you I'm gonna give you the real stories here. I definitely went and pitched friends for this offer as well. So anyone that I knew that was kind of thinking about getting into video, I knew that they wanted to make it happen, I went out and I pushed to get 4 people to say yes to this offer so that I could make this happen. And one of them is my husband today. So I convinced him and one of his friends to join this program as well. And they paid me for it. So I highly recommend, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and ask friends to join as well, because this is a new service that you're providing and you know it's going to be valuable. So stand firm in that and make it happen. Step 4, prioritize the course. If you've followed my steps up until this point, then you will have gone through, simplified your life. You'll kind of have figured out what it is that the market needs. What are the things that you can get so simple and charge a higher price point for that people are actually willing to pay for, right? Whether it's one client or you're splitting it amongst a group experience. You've kind of found that thing that the market is going to put money behind. Now you need to create a scalable offer for that. So you've proven the model, and now you need to take that and package it into an online course. Now, where I was at this stage is in doing this group program for other people, it of course ends up taking way more time than you anticipate, and I still didn't have a ton of time to build an online course. So instead of doing yet again another group experience, I decided to prioritize building the course while also having kind of a backup online income or income strategy, not online income just yet, but a backup income strategy, which I'm going to get to in a second. So at some point amongst your journey, once you've proven this offer, you've kind of gone through, you've made money in a different way, you've simplified things, you've had time to kind of recover from the burnout. Now you are going to need to make a decision and say, my why is strong enough and I'm actually going to prioritize building this course. So now let's talk about what the income strategy actually looks like for that. So what I ended up doing is, once again, I knew I needed to create something that was relatively simple, that wasn't going to take a lot of my time. So I decided no more shooting and editing for other people. I am just going to do the strategy components. So I came up with this concept where I would actually go into a business, and in a 2 to 3 hour session, I would break down the strategy that would help them accomplish the goal that they were looking to achieve within that quarter, within that year, however long that they wanted to do it for. And then the idea was I would then connect them with a videographer who could actually execute on that from the strategy that we created. So once I came up with that offer, I changed the copy on my website to be able to convert viewers that were coming in, because I was already getting traffic to my website, and have them actually book strategy sessions with me. And I went out to the past client base and made that pitch to them and booked a couple of sessions. Then I wasn't going to worry about it. So I wasn't going to spend time prospecting on that or anything like that. I had an offer that I could point people to. My focus became actually building this course. Step 5, learn from the pros. At this stage in my journey, I needed to make money stat, and I knew that I wasn't going to have very much time in order to focus and prioritize my online course. So I knew that I needed to follow a roadmap that worked. I did not have time for trial and error. Now, I'm a big fan of learning from the pros and iterating from there. There is no reason to recreate the wheel. This is the part that I really think, the decision that I made that split the difference between a successful course creator and getting me on track for a fast transition versus stumbling my way through and potentially never actually getting there. So I highly recommend, if you are at the stage where you're ready to prioritize making a course, take a course on making it happen, right? And so I ended up investing in Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy, and I followed her system to a T. I wanted to be an A+ student in this process. You tell me to do something, I'm going to make it happen. That became my #1 focus, was actually going through her steps and making it happen. Now, in addition to taking this program, there were also some parts of it that felt very heavy, and I was in the depth of despair of, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get all this done alone. I feel like I need additional help. And so I knew that if I could hire people that could do it better than me, then I could have a successful course launch and bring in a lot more money, which would then give me even more time to prioritize building the online course, delivering it, making it even better for the next time that I launched. Now, just a quick side note, this is definitely not the point of this video, but every single year I am an affiliate for Digital Course Academy, where if you join through my affiliate link, then you're gonna get access to a mastermind group that I put together to help business owners actually create an online course and successfully launch it as well. It's a ton of fun and it happens every fall. So depending on what your schedule looks like, I would highly recommend creating a course a priority in the fall. Usually the launch happens around August or September-ish. So come back to this channel around that time and I will walk you through that step together. So I ended up hiring a copywriter to help me write the 18 emails required to properly launch an online course, as well as a launch strategist to kind of be my emotional support as I went through this journey of doing my first launch. And in making this decision, once again, this split path of following a proven framework versus trying to figure it out myself, I ended up making $17,000 in my first online course launch, which was incredible because it helped me fill my reserve tank and be able to do it again several months later and do it even better the second time around. And the last thing that I'm gonna say on this point as well is, once again, as I reflected upon at the beginning of this video, I was building my online presence while also making these business decisions. And building the online presence was certainly essential to having that successful first launch. So I not only followed a system that worked, but I also was building an audience. And once again, now that you've gotten to the end of this video, I highly recommend also watching the free training that I have on how to create a sustainable system so that you can create videos effortlessly in the background and be building your online presence so that these business decisions will actually work out for you. Now that you understand this transition of going from one-to-one client work to the online course business and the business decisions that will happen behind the scenes, I want to break down the focus areas or the phases that you'll go through in order to go from $0 to $100,000 in your first year of having an online course business. This is what I have been able to do, and so I have now want to turn around and share it with you. So there's another video here on the screen that you can go watch with that full story right now. But real quick, before you leave this video, if this video is helpful, please be sure to click like and drop your comments below, letting me know. It really helps me out, and I love to hear any further questions that you might have that this video might have created, because it always gives me new ideas for videos. So be sure to drop those below, and I look forward to reading them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This one here.